Yo, what's good, guy? Welcome to the second episode of the Halftime Oranges podcast with myself, Ziad, and my co-host, Mr. Jayant. What's good, bro?
Nothing much. How about you, pal?
I'm good, man. It's been a crazy week of football, a very crazy week of football. So why don't we jump straight into it? First of a conversation I thought we'll talk about is European football,
Let's go.
Champions League football. But we discussed Bayern Munich. We said that they would score, and it was just a matter of how much they concede. Crazily enough, they didn't concede.
I
They did
know.
win the
Yeah.
game, but it wasn't enough. PSG held on. It was, in fact, a very, very entertaining game. 1-0, but still chances, skills, drama. It's everything you want in a quarterfinal Champions League game. Watching
Yeah.
it as a Bayern fan, how were you feeling?
Well, going into this game, there was a lot of noise coming out from the players, and I remember Kimmich especially was going on about how he was sure we would reach the semis. And as a Bayern supporter, I'm used to all this talk, and it's good, and I expect it. But I actually thought this time around it was a lot quieter. I remember a few years ago against Real Madrid, and before that even Barcelona and whatever, so many players would come out and say that they were confident about turning this around, or they were going to go, all guns blazing for this, right? But this time around, I don't know, it just seemed a lot more subdued, the talk, which kind of, I don't know, it was just different, let's say. It didn't exactly have me worried, but yeah,
There was intensity for sure. Hansi Flick, he told them go for it, just go hard.
yeah,
Even Sane, last time the first leg, everyone said that it wasn't the best game of his. I think this time he really gave it all.
no, let me
Push
tell
forward,
you, no,
pace,
no, no. Sane
crosses
was
in.
he was awful. Both legs awful. He has not been good in this in the season. Um, and I understand he's coming off that ACL injury, so it will take him time. And obviously, we're going to give him time. But both legs, he was bad. The first leg, after conceding those early goals, Bayern absolutely pumped PSG. Like you saw 31 shots, but only two scored. This time around,
It was a lot less actually.
it was
14 shots
yeah,
to PSG's
exactly.
10.
And
Possession was almost 50-50 as well.
yeah, and that was because I assume Bayern were kind of wary of that counter attack, and we kind of dealt with that by playing Luca Hernandez as a centre back, and starting Alphonso Davies in this one with
I think
Alaba.
Luke Hernandez, by the way, Hernandez had a very good game. He did everything he could to stop Neymar. I remember he was through on goal at one point. He used his pace, got there first,
Yeah,
used his
even with
strength as
Mbappe
well.
as well, and him
Yeah.
and Boateng had both of them had phenomenal games. Like I am so proud of them, so happy for them, and it's going to be so exciting to see Hernandez start with Upamecano next season as our centre back pairing.
Where would that leave Boateng, Alaba, Sula?
Sula will be a rotation option. He'll be on the bench. Alaba's confirmed he's already leaving, and
That's true,
then
yeah.
Hassan Salihamidzic said on the just before the first leg against PSG, he told Boateng that his contract would not be renewed and he would be leaving the club.
Hmm.
And there's been so much criticism of Salihamidzic for telling Boateng this an hour before the game. Like, what was he thinking? He's he's been an awful sporting director, to be honest. None of his transfers have worked out really. But yeah, I digress. About this game, Bayern tried to go for it, but that
Did you
final
miss?
ball was
Do you
was
think?
lacking.
Do you think you missed the likes of Gnabry, Lewandowski in that game?
100%.
Yeah.
Gnabry especially, I think. Well, you saw our bench. Our only offensive reinforcement was Jamal Musiala, with the only other proper senior player being Javi Martinez, who did actually come on and play as a striker for Choupo-Moting. The rest were defenders or young untested players, and it really showed. Gnabry would have undoubtedly started this game, and he would have had so much more impact than Sane did. Yeah, fine, he played slightly better than he did in the first leg, but his final ball was lacking. He didn't get his head up at the right times. like there's this you must have seen that image going around on Instagram or whatever. On the I think it's the 90th minute, he has Muller and Musiala open for the pass for that cutback, but he chose to try and square it across goal for Javi Martinez, and Keylor Navas just took it up, and that kind of really summed up his game,
Hmm.
his both legs actually. Even Coman, he was better than Sane, but again, there's so much lacking, and I don't know. It's going to be a struggle even next season now because of these departures and that uncertainty around Flick right now.
No, I think it's been confirmed, hasn't it? He will be the next German manager after
It's not
Joachim Löw in the
confirmed
summer.
yet. That's
You
what,
sure? I'm
yeah,
sure I saw it
yeah. Lothar
on.
Matthäus
Yeah, that was it.
came
Was
out
from
and
him.
said,
Lothar Matthäus said that Flick will be the next
but
German manager. Yeah.
I don't know. I think he talks too much,
I remember the
Matthäus.
last episode. I did say I think that's the best move for him himself because he has shown how good of a manager he is. He came in as an interim manager. Remember, he wasn't supposed to
Yeah,
stay there. He wasn't supposed to, and he shocked everyone. He did something no one thought he would, and he's shown his football is amazing. He's ruthless. He's not afraid to make changes. He's always willing to attack.
he's
So and
phenomenal. I love him.
Germany need him. I think you've seen how they've been in the European qualifications, the World Cup qualifications. They've been poor. They got smacked by Spain. We can't forget that. I don't think Joachim Löw can get the best out of Timo Werner either,
No,
for
absolutely
example.
not. He's
So
awful. He needs to go.
exactly,
He should have gone in 2016, but here we
he
are.
should have. But a bit too late. But Germany do have some young guns coming through, and I think Hansi Flick is the perfect manager for them. So if it does go through, I think that's the right move. But
100%.
looking at Bayern Munich, now knocked out of the Champions League, their sole focus is now on the Bundesliga.
That's all we have to play for.
5 points clear. Uh, will they do it? Will they? It's not a matter of can they, because we know they can. It's a matter of will they do it.
Yeah, yeah. Lewandowski's coming back from injury. He's in team training now. He will miss the next two games against Wolfsburg and Leverkusen, but he'll be back after that. So the title should be wrapped up. It's not just about us being good. It's about whether Leipzig can be good enough to, first of all, maintain pace and make up that 5 point difference. And I don't think they will. I don't think they have it in them.
It will be a stretch. But looking at the other team that in that tie, PSG, they came with a game plan. I don't think they it wasn't as effective because Bayern Munich they knew they had to go for it. So PSG was more sit back, let's absorb and try and hit them on the counter, which was almost evident.
It worked.
Neymar,
It did work. They
it
didn't
did
score,
work.
but it worked.
Exactly. They did. They got the 3-3 away goals through a goal.
It's
Um,
agonizing.
they must have hurt. I know what it feels like to get knocked out by Bayern Munich
Hmm.
on away goals. It's not a nice feeling. Yeah. Looking at the other games, let's look at the City game first of all. 2-1. Phil Foden. Wow, what a finish! What a young player he is for England, and he's going to be an absolute star. I think I watched that game. I decided to watch that one over the Madrid game, which we'll come
Hmm.
to. It just wasn't there for Dortmund. They just couldn't break the City down. Haaland six. I think that's 6 games now. 6 games without a goal.
It's
Everyone's
five,
talking
yeah,
about
5 games without a
five
goal.
five games without a goal. It just didn't turn up. And now we're looking at the possibility, which I talked about last episode, that Haaland could be on his way to City. But that game, 2-1, deserved. Do you think City that was just Dortmund not being good enough, or was that City being too good for them?
L- City are the better team. There's no doubt about that. No, everyone knows that, right? Um, but they didn't actually play to, I think, everyone's expectations in both these games across the tie. I think Dortmund did relatively well to kind of frustrate City and not let any gaps open up. But you just saw that Dortmund right now are such a limited team. And okay, fine, if Sancho's there, I think maybe there could have been an upset, but I highly doubt it. They're just not good enough. Um, I think on the whole, City deserved to go through. They played better. In that last game, uh, they created 17 chances to Dortmund's 10 and had 62% possession.
Dominated the game.
Yeah. Um, and at the end of the day, it was just individual quality that kind of got City over
Do
the
you
line.
think Dortmund almost shot themselves in the foot? Because Emre Can, very experienced player. I thought it was a penalty. You can't extend your arm that far away from your body and not expect it to be a penalty. 100% it was a penalty. Had that not happened, it would have been
It was
1-1.
stupidity from him.
100%, I think so too. You didn't. It was down near his hip area. It could have eased. Just let it go, or don't ever extend your arm that far out. It's too risky.
Mm.
It did come off his head, but it's in an unnatural position. It was always going to be a penalty, and of course, Morris put it away. And look at the first goal, Jude Bellingham, the youngest player. I think it was just to score in the quarterfinal.
Youngest player in the quarter to score in the quarterfinal
Yeah.
stage,
Before that, it
but
was.
second youngest in Champions League
Yeah.
history, I believe.
You think? Can you guess who the second one was? Before Jude Bellingham, who was
I
holding it?
think the first is I know it. It's Bojan from Barcelona, right?
No, not him.
Is it not?
Closer to home.
I don't know.
Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain for Arsenal.
In the Champions League,
Yep, Champions League quarterfinal. It was him. I can't remember which game it was for, but he was holding it. He was holding the record for the youngest player to score in the Champions League quarterfinal.
I didn't know
I
that.
can't
Right.
remember who it was against, but you can imagine it was a quarterfinal. We'd always get knocked out there.
Yeah.
That's just typical Arsenal for us. Um, City through, and they will play Paris
PSG.
Saint-Germain. The Cash City versus Oil City. And that's what everyone's
Oh,
talking about. Yeah.
I just, I'm just not a big fan of any team left in the semis. But I suppose
Let's
I
look at
could
this semi-final first. PSG
go for
versus
it.
Manchester City. It's going to be a very entertaining game. I think it's going to be,
100%.
and I think this is City's best chance of getting to a final. But this is the biggest hurdle they could have asked for in PSG.
Yep.
I think City would have beaten Madrid. I think City would have beaten Chelsea. They got the harder one in PSG. Who's going through, and why? Why would they go through? I think it will be high scoring. I think it'll be a very high scoring game.
Yeah.
For me personally, I think PSG will clinch it, and I do hope PSG clinches it.
See, I hope City clinch it,
Why is that?
and I just prefer City as a team. I prefer individually their
Is
personnel.
that just biased because you adore Pep?
I love Pep, and that's yeah, pretty much. I just want him to showcase his qualities, but it will be a very interesting battle, and I think it will be not as. I think it'll be similar to the second leg of PSG Bayern, where City will dominate and PSG will aim to counterattack through that front three, or it'll be a front four of Neymar, Mbappe, Di Maria, and Draxler, because it works perfectly with that midfield. And let's have it right, that midfield, as much as people praise them, it is a very limited midfield with Gay, Herrera, uh, Leo Paredes. They're very good at what they do, which is, muddying up the game, but they are very limited, and that will suit this tie to a T, to be honest. City have to be more clinical than they were against Dortmund because they missed, especially in that first leg, they missed a ton of chances. Um, and their big players have to step up for them. Sterling has been kept out of the team by Foden in the last 4 or 5 games, and Foden has to show his quality if he does start this game. It'll be interesting to see who Guardiola picks as his centre back pairing. I think Diaz will 100% start. I would be interested to see if he chooses Stones or Laporte because Laporte does offer that ability to come out wide when under pressure because he's naturally left-footed, right? Um, but on the other hand, Stones does have a bit more recovery pace for that counter attack, so it'd be interesting to see who he goes for. As for the fullbacks, I think he has to play Walker on the right and Cancelo on the left. I think
That's
that's
what
the only way to
he
go.
tends to go for. It looks like he's isolated Mendy out of the squad completely. Because if it's not Cancelo, it's Zinchenko. I can't remember the last
Yeah,
time I saw
yeah.
Mendy play for this club.
Um, I don't blame him because he's always injury prone, and when he does play, it's not like he's performing like a superstar, you know. Um, the midfield will pick itself. It'll be Rodri, Gundogan, De
Good
Bruyne,
point. Yeah.
I would imagine. Um, and then
It'll probably be Jesus. Aguero's still not fit, I don't believe.
I don't think it
So
will.
it's
I don't
looking
think he
like it's
played
gonna be.
Jesus.
It's looking like it's gonna be a Mahrez, Jesus, and Foden front three.
I think I think it could well be Foden playing as the
Centre forward, like a false nine.
yeah, as a
Yeah,
striker,
he's done it before.
with Jesus playing on the left with his ability to track back. We saw it against Real Madrid a couple of seasons ago, I think. We've seen it in a few other big games as well this season, where he's deployed on that left and he offers a lot of pressing and a lot of defensive running. And then yeah, Mara's on the right. I don't think Sterling starts. I don't think Bernardo Silva starts either.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They got quality and depth. They can easily, like you said, PSG. It's going to be difficult for them to bring anyone off the bench. But City have an abundance of players, abundance of quality. Then, and that's why, as much as I want PSG to win it, I do believe City will clinch it, and
I
they will
just
go through.
hope Guardiola does not overthink this. He does it so much all the time. I
Is
just
it is
hope
it because
he
of
does not.
pressure? It's because he knows he needs to win the Champions League with Manchester City. He couldn't do it with Bayern. This is it for him, isn't it? I think this is the one season he can do it. Because the pressure's on. He has to win it now. He has to go all out because the Premier League it's pretty much sorted. So he can put all his eggs into this basket.
I think the pressure thing is mainly an exterior conversation
Is it caused by
topic.
the media? You think they're putting all
Yeah,
the
I
pressure?
don't think within the club, I don't think he's under, heavy pressure to
No,
deliver the Champions League.
no, no.
Of course, the club want it, and that's what their aim is, but it's not like he's going to face the sack or, anything like that if he doesn't win it. Because it's about the project, and this is a good opportunity, but this will be a massive test for them. I am scared that they will get caught on the counter attack. This is giving me vibes
They can.
of Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid in 2013-14,
Was that a
where
7-0 on aggregate?
no, 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 it's when Bayern lost 4-0 at home
Wasn't that
to
against?
Madrid.
Was that against? Yeah, yeah, of course. And the Ronaldo celebration. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's um, I'm hoping I'm hoping City can do it.
I think
Um,
I know they can. I think they can, but I also know they can. Just a matter of will they? PSG won't be easy. Looking at the other two, you got Chelsea v Porto. Tuchel lost the game, but they
yes,
held out. They all the way until the 93rd minute. What a goal by Taremi! An amazing, amazing goal by them.
phenomenal.
Unfortunately, it was too little, too late. Adding another 10 minutes, anything's possible. But game itself wasn't as entertaining. Two goals on target for Porto, one for Chelsea. 50-50 each possession. But I think that was just game management. Tuchel knew what he had to do. He got two. What he had was 2-0 ahead, two away goals. He just needed to see out the game.
Yeah,
Um,
and this is
yeah,
what Tuchel has learned to do. He's learned to be this almost more pragmatic in his time at Paris. He set up this game in the 3-4-3 formation. I personally don't like it, and I think Chelsea are a lot better when they play as a 4-3-3. But again, it was just game management, seeing out the game, not conceding, and then maybe hitting them um, in one of their few chances. And yeah, they lost the game, but over the course of the tie, it worked, and it's very well done to Chelsea.
did what they needed to do. And then, of course, the last one, Madrid, Liverpool. 0-0 on the night. Again, I think that was Zidane's game management. He was already 3-1 up, knew what he needed to do. Although Liverpool had chances, 15 shots. They peppered their goal, but it just wasn't enough. They weren't clinical at all. I think on the night, I think it was Firmino who started. I
Yes,
think it was Firmino who started, and that's where the debate comes because Diego Jota has shown that anytime he comes off the bench, he performs. And you saw in the first leg, I think he started with Jota, and it just wasn't working out for him. So he decided, you know what, let me bring Firmino
yeah.
into it. Still wasn't enough. What is Liverpool? What is Klopp been doing? Because this season, complete contrast to last season. I don't think he's going to make top four. Champions League, I think, is out of the question for Liverpool. What do Liverpool need to do?
Well, first of all, it's look, they're going through a really bad patch, which every team suffers, but this Liverpool one has been
It's
dragged
a
on
weird
a
one
long
because they
time
did
now.
recruit. I think they recruited sensibly. They brought in Diego Jota because they knew Firmino wasn't going to do it himself. They held on to the likes of Salah, Mane, um, who weren't as good as last season, of course. Okay, yes, there have been very big injuries. Van Dijk, Matip, Gomez. Is that the excuse that they can use?
Okay, fine. As a kind of surface thing, yes, they can use the injuries as an excuse, but that's just an issue of squad planning, to be honest, and behind the scenes things. I I don't understand why they haven't recruited able deputies for their starting lineup. Klopp has used the same starting lineup for the majority of the last 3 seasons now, and it's just obvious that people are going to get tired, or eventually they will drop out of form.
Or is
As
it like teams have now clocked on what they're doing? They know what they're going to do. They know how to set up against them now because they've seen it time and time again.
I don't think so. I think it's when you're able to rotate players, as Man City do. Everyone knows what City are going to do, but it's about being able to stop them and being able to teach your players different things to work around different defenses or situations. And I'm going to use like their squad planning. For example, this season they brought in uh, Kostas Tsimikas, the left back, right? How many games has he played?
Couldn't tell you. I don't think he's
He,
started yet.
what? He's played like what 5 games. Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andrew Robertson have two of the most difficult roles in football. They have two of the most demanding roles in football, right? And they played every minute of every game for the last 3 seasons. Why? What does Klopp think, or what does he expect? I don't understand. Why would he not rotate them and rest them? Like everyone saw Alexander Arnold in that first leg against Real Madrid. He looked tired. He looked lethargic, and Vinicius had him on toast that entire game. But Klopp now has that deputy in Tsimikas, but he just doesn't play him. And it's like, if you don't think this guy is good enough to play for you, why sign him? It doesn't make sense to me. Um, Klopp has some serious thinking to do because, fine, this is a freak season. The Van Dijk injury, okay, it's not a muscle injury, which shows it's not him being overplayed or whatever. It was a contact injury, right? Everyone knows what happened with Pickford and whatever. These sort of things happen, but there has to be better squad planning for the rest of the side because fine, your let's say your three primary centre backs are out. To derail a season this much, even though three of your centre backs are out, is it can't continue. It's just appalling management, to be honest, by Klopp and by whoever's signing these players. I go back to, I don't know, uh, City, for example, when they had to use Fernandinho and Rodri as centre backs, or even Pep at Bayern, where he first converted Alaba into a centre back and he played Kimmich as the other centre back. And to have a centre back partnership of Alaba and Kimmich, it shouldn't have done anything, but he got us to a Champions League semi final. And Klopp, I don't know, he's just been very. I don't know if it's stubbornness or what, to be honest, but he's not changing, he's not adapting, and he's blaming literally everything
He's
around him
come up with a
apart
lot of
from himself.
excuses. Almost every other post interview, he's come up with a lot of excuses.
Everything. It's
Yeah.
so frustrating now, and the thing is, it's not even funny like Jose Mourinho used to be. It's just very annoying. It's just yeah.
Right.
I think on the whole, Liverpool probably deserved to lose the tie in that second leg. Salah had some big chances that he fluffed. But again, that's just his form, and there's no one else to bring on apart from Jota. But it was too little, too late.
It was in the end, but that's Liverpool. That's sets up the next semi final. Madrid v Chelsea.
Yes.
Very good match, I think. Maybe a Hazard return. I hope it's going to be a Hazard return. Zidane knows how to win the Champions League. He's proven it time and time again. I think this is Tuchel's first semi-final in the Champions League. I don't think he's ever gotten this far.
Uh,
I know he's gotten Dortmund to either
well,
Europa
he got
League.
to the final last year, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Oh, of course, yeah, of course he's got that was a PSG. Of course, unfortunately, it wasn't to be on that night. So again, Tuchel doesn't know how to get to Champions League final, as does Zidane. Who has the better team?
The better team on paper, I think you have to say Chelsea. Um, on the whole, that is right. Obviously, Madrid are superior in certain positions, uh, but I think
It's more of an old
Chelsea have
squad. You
the
look at Madrid's squad; it's a lot older than Chelsea's squad. You've still got the Modric,
Madrid's
Cruz,
squad, right,
Benzema.
is exactly. They just haven't regenerated that
No,
squad well enough, and it's partly because of the lack of investment, but it's
they
also
didn't sign
Zidane's
anyone. Remember,
reluctance.
summer transfer, they signed no one. I really think that's Zidane's
Yeah,
stubbornness. More than anything, I think it's Zidane's stubbornness. You look at the Odegaard
that is
situation.
part of it because he just
Yeah,
refuses to
he's
play
too
other
loyal. He's
players.
almost like a Wenger type manager, very loyal to some players. Benzema especially. Modric has now signed a new contract until next year. And for me, I
Like
look at that and it looks good for me as an Arsenal fan because I'm hoping now that looks like Zidane will stay. Odegaard has a chance of not playing for Madrid, so it's very likely he could
yeah,
sign for us.
perhaps.
But that's beside that point.
But it's
Um,
just like he had James, he had Isco, he has Odriozola, he had Ødegaard, he had Reguilon, but he just never plays these
yeah,
players.
Bale as
Be-
well is another one. Don't forget that one.
Bale as
Big
well,
one.
like for unknown reason, he just doesn't play these players, and it creates a very it creates a very unbalanced squad as a whole. Maybe not starting 11, but as a squad, and one or two injuries, like they've got a centre back right now with uh, Sergio Ramos and Rafael Varane out. Their centre backs are very weak, and they're there for Chelsea to get at. With Nacho and Eder Militao, who, okay, fine, are no slouches themselves, but they're nowhere near their full strength, right? And that midfield, as well as it can control the game, um, it's very old.
When you say it's working though, they're second in the league, only a point behind Atletico Madrid. They've been rising up the ranks in the Champions League semi-final. Anyone can argue that it's working. I think any Madrid fan could be frustrated with the recruitment, with the players that are on the pitch, but it's working. Zidane's still making it work.
I fine at the moment, and okay, he has adjusted his tactics. Like before, we've known Casemiro as a destroyer in midfield, a destroying midfielder, playing as that number six, right? But this season, we've seen him progress forward a lot more and having Luka Modric and Toni Kroos sitting as a double pivot, which allows Casemiro to go and press the opposition when Madrid are defending, which has worked. Um, but it's a case for how long is this going to work? Because Modric is what 35 now.
Wow.
Cruz is what 30, I think 31.
Mm.
Um, and Casemiro is not young either. And if you look at their bench or whatever, he's frozen everyone out. Isco, he just doesn't play. James has left. I would be surprised if Ødegaard
I'd be surprised if he
went
stayed.
back to
Same.
Madrid and played. And even their attack, Benzema is old. Vinicius Junior is,
Inconsistent.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but he's just not Madrid
Mm.
level. He has these flashes like he did in the first leg against Liverpool, but on the whole, he's not what Real Madrid should aspire for. Neither is who's the other guy?
On the other
Their
side.
other young guy. Oh,
Asensio, Vasquez, Adriozola,
Rodrigo.
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 Yes.
Yeah, sorry. They're they're okay youngsters, but they're not at the level they want. And behind that, there's absolutely no depth. And fine, we saw that they didn't spend any money in the summer, so they could well be coming, saving to bring in someone like
It'll
Mbappe.
be another Galactico for sure. Maybe that's what they're saving
In
for. It looks
theory,
like it.
yes, but if you look under the surface, we can see that they're trying to uh, regenerate the stadium, which costs a lot, and they're around 800 million pounds in debt, I believe, which is
A lot.
a
Damn.
staggering
Big
number.
number.
Like I think it's only Barcelona who are ahead of them on 1.2 billion, which is, they're unheard of
Mm.
numbers. So it'll be interesting to see where Real Madrid go next season. But I think in this semi-final tie, I would be surprised if Chelsea don't do it. I think it'll be close, but I think Chelsea should have the quality to do it. The only question is, will Chelsea be able to score enough? I think because fine, Havertz has looked better playing as a number nine, but I don't know. There's still that lack of an out and out, you know, world class number nine.
Mm. It will be a very interesting time. I'm certainly looking forward to that. That's Champions League. Let's move on to my competition, the only competition that matters, of course, the Europa League,
Yeah,
hundred
absolutely.
percent, of course. Let's go to our team. Let's go to my team first, Arsenal. Emphatic win, 4-0 in the night. I think thoroughly deserved.
I told you nothing to be worried about.
That's the thing. You talk to any Arsenal fan, they were surprised. We didn't expect this. I think almost any other neutral fan expected Slavia Prague to really give it to us, really really go hard, go
They're
for us,
they're
and
not a good side at
we all
all,
knew this. That's the thing. We all
honestly.
knew this, but we all know how Arsenal are.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
not
I understand
we're
that.
not consistent. You look at the league table. We're ninth in the league, I think, right now.
Yeah,
We've shown that we make too many mistakes, and that was clear in the first leg when we gave away the stupid corner and Leno couldn't punch out the header. On the night though, you
mm,
saw what we can do, and that's what's worrying because we can do this, but they just don't want to attack week in week out. We look at the goals. I thought the first goal was a bit unlucky to not being given the Emil Smith Rowe goal. Um,
I think it was
it was
offside
a
though, wasn't
toe
it?
offside. That's just another offside issue VAR, but who knows?
I don't think that's a VAR issue. I think that's he is
He is
offside. I
offside.
don't
It's a
think
toe.
there's
There was nothing we can do about it. It's fair. But
yeah.
couple
Look,
minutes later,
he's what?
yeah, couple minutes later, you see Emil Smith Rowe didn't let his head drop. He said, "Okay, fine, no goal. I'm gonna go again." That's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
Intricate in the box, good on the ball, close to his feet, put it into Pepe, goal. That's what you want to see. And Pepe especially, he's been getting a lot of stick from other fans, but he's shown that
It was a good
it was a great
finish.
finish. He dummied the shot and put the keeper on his knee, so it allowed him just to tip it over his head, goal. And we know he
And I'm
can do that.
surprised he didn't go down under that challenge as well
Yeah,
just
he
before
could
he
have,
shot.
but he's shown he doesn't need to, and that's what I was really happy about. It was a great goal. Second goal, definitely penalty. Saka taken out of the area. Lacazette again. Third goal, man, I've already forgotten who scored. Saka, wow, what a finish! He he fooled the
Yes,
keeper. I think going to go the far post. Nope, I'm going to go near post. And again, what a talent! And we missed
he is
him.
phenomenal.
I think it showed that fatigue kicked in the last few weeks because he hasn't been up to his best. But this game, I think he finally reached it. Fourth goal again, Lacazette. Big time player, big player, big game player. He's shown timing. He scored against United, Spurs, Chelsea, Liverpool. He can do it, and that's why we need him right now. He's doing better than Aubameyang. You can't take a Lacazette out of this team. Hold up, play superb. Touch on the ball, superb. Can pick out a pass, and he's not afraid to shoot and score. He's shown.
I'm gonna ask you a quick question, right? Would you give Lacazette a new
Yes,
contract?
I 100% would give him a new contract. I look at the up and coming strikers, Martinelli, Balogun has signed a new contract, and he's better than Nketiah. 100% he's better than Nketiah, and
Yes,
I see
agreed.
Martinelli and Balogun being the future for Arsenal. I don't think we're going to go into the transfer market looking for a new striker, especially not this transfer window.
You shouldn't,
Maybe
no.
next year. Maybe next year if things don't work out. But like I said, yeah, I think he deserves it. I think he definitely deserves it. He's our top goal scorer. He's had a better season than the majority of our forward players, maybe barring Saka and Mill Smith Rowe. We need him. We're going to need him. We've got Villarreal next. We'll get to them in a sec. We will definitely need him. On the
He's only one goal behind Calvert-Lewin this season in the
exactly,
in the
yeah.
league,
Everyone's
which
saying that,
is
yeah.
actually quite surprising, isn't it? It just shows that how people
They put him down a lot.
only look at certain things.
Yeah, he's shown that he can score. Last season it was okay. It was less goals. Aubameyang was the main guy, but that's what I like. Aubameyang isn't the main guy. Lacazette stepped up. It's what you need from players. So if the main man isn't going to be there, you need to look around your squad and say who's going to take the reins now. Who's going to be the main guy?
Hmm.
Lacazette's done exactly what he wanted to do, and I'm really happy for the team. 5-1 in aggregate. It was emphatic. And we look at the run of fixtures that we have going into Premier League. Fulham next, Everton at home, Everton at home, Newcastle away, West Brom at home. Winnable games. We need to keep momentum. We need to try and avoid injuries. The squad rotation has to be perfect. So it's completely up to Arteta now. I'm if he doesn't win this competition, the pressure will certainly be on. His head will be called for, and no one can really argue against it. He's had an appalling season. He really has. Look at
Yeah,
the Premier League, poor. FA Cup, League Cup, poor. Very poor. The Europa League is the only thing keeping him in the job for me. I know they're not going to sack him, regardless if we win this competition or not. I know they're not going to sack him because they have this plan. They have this process that they really want to stick by. So we're desperate. I think we're the club that needs this competition the most, more than anything.
I think I think one slight saving grace for Arteta is that before Christmas this season, he was abysmal, to
For
be
sure,
honest.
100%.
There was nothing in the attack. The defense was leaking goals. The press was non-existent. All round, it was awful. Since Christmas, you've got a top three defense in the league,
Surprising.
and with the
Yeah,
yeah
very.
with the introduction of Odegaard and Smith Rowe, you've become okay, not the best, but you've become, let's say, a top
I said top
half.
six side for since Christmas.
I'd say around top
Top eight.
eight,
Okay.
top eight attacking side, which shows progress. But is it enough? Has it been enough progress to keep him in the job?
It
I
shouldn't
think
be.
it depends how he goes out in this Europa League. If he puts in a amazing performance against, even in the final, let's say he gets to the final, if he puts in an amazing performance but loses in the final, I think maybe it keeps him in the job.
Regardless, even if we get knocked out in the semis, I know he will stick to the job. I know he will. I don't think the owners are going to sack him just now. Like I said, they have this plan. I don't know what the plan is. It's because so far the plan is looking absolutely bogus. It's not gotten us anywhere, especially in the league. So this is his saving grace. We can only hope, pray that the team turns up because who have we got next? We got the Mr. Good Ebening himself, Mr. Unai Emery. He's coming back. We
So much disrespect.
you can say that, but I don't know. His tenure at Arsenal, it is exactly what's happened at Villarreal. It started off very well. We went on a 22-game unbeaten run. No one could touch us. We were saying we've got our Arsenal back. We were all believed
Mm,
this is the guy. This is the man who's gonna catapult us to the next level. We're gonna win the league in the next 3-4 years. After Christmas, the biggest decline I've ever seen in any football club. We just couldn't do it. Everything went wrong for us. Europa League final, embarrassment. 4-1 on the night against Chelsea. That's embarrassing.
mm,
Shouldn't be happening. And almost the exact same thing has happened to Villarreal. Around November time, when we were in a crisis on 15th place, Villarreal were in the top four. I think they were second. Real Sociedad were first, Villarreal second, and every Arsenal fan was saying, look what's going on. Look at Emery. You fired him, but look how good he's doing. It's
mm.
it's all gone wrong since because they're ninth in the league, exactly where we are. So they're not much different to us.
Yeah,
So going into I'm worried because Emery does know us. I don't think the football was the same. I think his football was really boring, really boring.
yeah.
He just didn't offer anything going forward, and the players didn't really want to play for him. I don't know how Villarreal players feel about him, but I know they do have an abundance of good players. Villarreal. Who have they got in there? I think they've got what's that midfielder beginning with a P? Um,
Danny
Danny
Parejo,
Parejo, very good player. I know he's a legend of their club. Very Paco
yeah.
Alcacer, Moreno, good players.
Chukwueze is a decent player as
Baka
well.
and of course the man himself, Santi Cazorla. Actually, no, he left, didn't he? Sorry, he's in the UAE
Yeah,
now, in Qatar. Sorry.
yeah.
He-
But even there, Capoue in midfield, right? They've got a decent squad.
They have a
Let's put it
decent
that
squad.
way.
In fact, their squad matches ours because let's not be funny. Of course, if you look on paper, player for player, we should be much better than them. But let's be real, we're
It's
both
not.
level
Yeah.
in terms of playing field. The leagues respectively same. Europa League both in the semi final, so it's not going to be much different. I'm not going to
No.
sit here and say that we should beat them because it's even. I want us to go there and give it to them because we showed that we can, if we want to, we can go hard. Slavia Prague, the pressure was on, we went for it. Mikel Arteta was relaxed in his conference, in his interviews, relaxed. It's like he knew what he was doing. He knew what his team was about to do, and it showed. So we'll see, we'll see. You look at the other side. Roma, they beat Ajax 3-2 in aggregate. Who's got Dzeko? Still got it. Still showing that he's not an elite striker. I'm not going to say he's an elite, but he's a very good striker. Very good striker for sure.
Hmm.
He gets goals.
Especially for his
Exactly,
age.
especially his age. I think this club has suited him so perfectly. Yes, he had his time at City, but I think Aguero outshined him the entire time he was there. But this is it for him, Dzeko. They go up against United, who I think had an easy run against Granada. I never had any faith in Granada
Yeah.
to do a
Yeah.
job. Yes, they were underdogs. They beat Napoli, so maybe there was that slight hope that maybe something can happen. But United have shown that they have the class. They destroyed Spurs over the weekend, and they have the players to do it. Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, Pogba, all in form. Their defense is in form. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got them playing what he wants, and I think the board are going to be happy. The fans will be happy, and it's looking like it's going to be United Arsenal final, and that stresses me out so much. It stresses me out so much, that idea.
So, so you think Arsenal beat Villarreal in the
I'm an
semis?
Arsenal fan. I'm going to be biased. I'm going to always gun for us to win. So
I let me
we
think.
look, we didn't have an easy run getting here. Let's be real. We had Benfica. Everyone said we were going to get knocked out because the draw happened what, November December time, when we were
Yeah.
awful. You even said Benfica were going to knock us out.
I
Yeah,
thought I
yeah.
thought they would.
Everyone
Yeah.
said, and we beat them. We then had Olympiacos. Again, everyone said they're going to knock us out because they knocked us out last year. We beat them. Slavia Prague, we drew the first leg. Again, everyone said we were going to get knocked out the second leg. We destroyed them. So there's no reason why we can't do it. There's no reason because we can. So I'm going to say that we're going to beat Villarreal, and
I'm gonna agree with you
I
there.
think it's going to be United Arsenal final. I think Roma will give them a good game. I think Roma would have given United a better game than Ajax would have. So um, it will be very, I think it will be a better semi final than our game. I think if you're looking for the Unai Emery reunion, then yeah, you would want to tune into our game. But I think United Roma will be very interesting. But if that happens,
It'll be an
for
interesting
sure.
game, but
If it if it
I don't think they've
if
got
it comes to
enough.
that, United Arsenal, who's your money on there? Yeah,
United.
unsurprisingly.
I think they've. This is theirs to lose. To
Who
be
needs it
honest,
more?
who
That's
needs
a
it
good question. I
more?
think that's a very good question. Who needs it more?
Well, you'd have to say Arsenal, right? I mean, they've literally got nothing else. I mean, United already have that pull for big players. They don't really need. They're not worried about that. Plus, if they drop out of second, let alone the top four, it'll be very concerning, and I don't think they
No,
will
I
drop
don't think. I
out
think
of.
they've secured second place for me. I think that's it's
Yeah.
City, United.
So they've got Champions League football next season. So you've got to say
But when I
Arsenal
say who
because
needs it more, we're looking at Ole as well. I think that's three semi-finals in a row knocked out. So United fans, the media will be looking at Ole and saying, "You need to win this now," because how many times are you going to get close to a final, not get there, not win it? And then you look at Arteta. He's shown that he can win a tournament. He won it last year with the squad that he had. That wasn't his squad. He was given Unai Emery's squad, and he won it. So if it comes to it, I'd say when, because I'm more than sure it will happen. But if it does come to it, I think Arteta can do it because in the last three games that we played each other, United have not scored and United have not won. So if any United fan comes to any Arsenal fan and says we're going to win, we can easily look at them and say, where's this energy coming from? You have no proof to show that you can beat us. Okay, the league says you are better than us,
fine.
but head to head, we've shown that we've got a number on you.
At the same time, I don't think I'm not a big. I won't look into head to head too much. I don't think it plays too much relevance. I think it's mainly to do on form and at the end of the day who's got the
For
better
sure.
players. And I think both of those are in United's favour.
Yeah.
I
At the
think they're
moment, yeah.
better
If you
across the
went back
pitch.
to, I think November 1st, when we beat them, and that's when our run declined. If you look back then, I think anyone would have said Arsenal were the better team. As the season has progressed, United have obviously elevated themselves to second place. And yeah, when we played them again, it was a 0-0. It was a drab game. But you know what? Look, I think we can hold our own. If it comes to it, I think we'll beat them. But that's the That's the European roundup.
Just quickly, I want to go back to the
Okay.
Champions League. Let's do our predictions for who we think will progress from each game and who will win the final.
So the first one is City PSG. My heart
Yes.
says PSG, but my head says City because they do have the better team. I think if you look around the entire squad, City they have a very well balanced squad. If you look at PSG, everyone will just be looking at Neymar, Mbappe. You know that's what everyone looks to when you think PSG. You lose those two, I don't think PSG will have much of a chance against City. So I think City will qualify. I can't tell you the scores, but if I was going to give you one, I think it'd be very close. 3-2 in aggregate. The other side,
Yeah, go on.
Madrid, Chelsea. I said when Tuchel took over and when who did they beat before Porto? They Atletico Madrid. When they
Yes.
convincingly beat Atletico Madrid, I said Chelsea are going to win it. I
I hope they
I hope they
don't.
don't either. But I looked at what Tuchel's done to them. He's completely transformed Chelsea. He's utilized the players that Frank Lampard left him, and he's gotten the best out of them.
Hmm.
Mason Mount,
He's a phenomenal
yeah,
manager. I cannot
Mason
stress it
Mount.
enough. He is
Okay, yeah, he's
amazing.
changed the formation to 3-4-3. Not me myself. I don't like that formation. I hated it when Arteta played it, but I understand at that
Yep.
time it was necessary because he didn't have the players. So I think Chelsea will beat Madrid, and I think that will be more of a tighter game. I think maybe 2-1 on aggregate. Maybe a 0-0 first leg, and Chelsea will nick it at home 2-1. Going into the
I
yeah
think it will be a 1-1 and then a
yeah
1-0,
there
and
you
I
go
do think yeah
yeah.
Chelsea go through.
Looking at the final,
Um,
I think it's gonna looking like a City Chelsea final on all English. But again, look if you look at it, the Europa League I just predicted is gonna be United Arsenal.
it could be all
Exactly,
English
another
again.
all
Yeah.
English, and I think UEFA are gonna be banging their heads over that. We know they hate that. We know they hate English sides going this far. But City Chelsea final, City has to be because by then they would have won the league. They would have been
You see, if it gets to City Chelsea, I think
yeah.
City win it. But
It won't be easy. They
I'm
won't walk all over
very
them. They won't
scared.
walk all over Chelsea. It will be tight.
No, absolutely not. But I'm still very scared that PSG beat Man City.
Yeah. What was your
Uh,
prediction for that one? PSG City. I think the first leg is at home to PSG, which it is. Yeah, PSG will be home first leg.
yeah. Um,
Do you think that plays dividend when it comes to who's home first?
Ordinarily, yes, but without
That's
fans,
true.
no.
There won't be fans.
Um, I'm going to say, honestly, it's 50-50 for me who goes through there, but I'm just going to go with who I want to go through, and that's Man
Okay,
City.
first.
But it is very, I
I
think
think
it's
it'll
on
be
the
the
knife
better
edge.
tie out of the two semi-finals. Yeah, it'll be the more entertaining
100%.
game for sure. Um,
And I think Man City beat
yeah,
Chelsea in the final, and then it'll be City's first ever final appearance and City's first ever Champions League win.
yeah, and I think that's what's best for Pep as well. If let's say he does do that, do you think Pep will look at it and think, "I've done everything I need to do here. I've done it. I've won the league. I've won the League Cup. Okay, not the FA Cup, but that's actually no. He's won the FA Cup as well. Sorry, remember he won the domestic treble. I've now won the Champions
Yeah.
League. I've done everything I wanted to do. If you were Pep, would you look at it and think a new challenge? Why not? Let me. 'Cause I know he loves challenges. Barca, Bayern, now at City. If you were Pep,
Mm.
would you look at it and say, "I want a new challenge now. Let me go do something else somewhere else. Let me have a new project. Let me go enjoy my football somewhere else."
If I were Pep, yeah, I would leave. However, knowing Pep from his time at Bayern and whatever, he won't leave. He will uh, stay for the
How
rest
long
of
has
his
he got left?
contract, and I think it's till
Oh wow,
24.
that's oof.
I think I could be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure it's till then, and I think he will see out the rest of his contract. I think that's something very important to him, and after that, I would 100% expect him to take a sabbatical. Um, and his next move from there, I
Would he want
no
to? Would
idea.
he
To be
want to
honest, I could not
rejoin
tell you.
leagues that he's been to, or do you think he'd want to go to a complete different league? So if we're looking, if that's the case, it's League or Serie A.
He won't go to Liga. Let's be clear. There is every chance he goes to Syria. Um, and I think there's a number of teams he could go
I
to
think
there.
so
To
too,
be
because if you look at
honest,
Serie A, the table itself, Juventus aren't killing it. You got Napoli, both Milans are doing very well.
I don't even just mean about league positioning. I mean about stylistically what we've seen. For example, from Juventus, they've gone away from Conte, from
Yeah,
Allegri. With that appointment of Sarri, they're signalling their intent to play expansive football, play attractive football, and they're trying to continue that with
yeah.
Pirlo now. And whether Pirlo's the right man or
I don't
not,
think he
he
is.
will play a certain
Hmm.
style of football. And I can see Pep managing Juve.
Managing.
If not, I actually can imagine him coming back to Bayern. Um, Other than that, I know he's
Mm.
said in the past he wants to manage the Brazil team,
Oh,
but I
international.
think that'll be his last job
Yeah.
in management, and I think he goes to Serie A or Bayern, and then he goes
Mm.
to Brazil, and then I think he gets an early retirement. I don't think you will see him managing into his 60s, 70s. I think he retires
Yeah.
relatively early compared
Because
to,
he looks
other
like a man who's
managers.
done it all already. So, and he doesn't
He
need to do
has.
any more, to be honest. Because he's done it. He's done everything he needs to do in every league. Okay, he hasn't won the Champions League at Bayern or City, but come to domestic trophy, he's done everything he needed to do. Real, really quick,
Absolutely.
if Hansi Flick does leave in the summer, who would you want to take over the reins? Who's available? You got
Oh
like okay, I
shit.
know you're not a big fan of Allegri, but he's one who's available.
No,
Let's go with
absolutely
what who
not.
you want and who you think Bayern will appoint.
Well, I want Flick to
Yeah,
stay
I
first of
figured.
all. If that's gone, who I want is Guardiola. That's not going to happen too. Out of who's available, um, Julian Nagelsmann has been heavily linked, but I've just seen, or not just, but I know the buyout for his contract, and have you seen the buyout for his contract
Nah,
for
I'm guessing
Nagelsmann?
it's quite big.
It's 17 million.
For a manager, that's a
For a
lot. Yeah,
manager,
for a
that's
manager, that's a
unheard
lot.
of. For a manager, that is unheard of. Usually they're about 3, 4
Yeah.
million, right? But like Gladbach just got Adi Hutter out of Frankfurt for their manager next season, and they paid 7 million
Hmm.
for him, and that's already one of the highest. And Bayern would have to pay 17 million for Nagelsmann. I'm not convinced that that happens. Other than that, I think there's very few candidates out there who are good enough and who play the correct
Would you
style of
take
football.
Wenger,
Allegri is would I
Mr.
mean
Wenger himself?
I'd prefer someone else, let's put it that way. But if I had to choose between Wenger and Allegri, I choose
Really?
Wenger.
Don't think he's washed up?
Yeah, I'd prefer him to Allegri. I think Allegri's football is it sets Bayern back
You
about
got to remember
15
they've
years.
both been somewhat on a sabbatical for as long as each other. To be fair. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine, but it's stylistically Wenger, it fits Bayern so much better than
Mm.
Allegri does. He, since Klinsmann, then Louis van Gaal, and all of Bayern's managers up till now, they've been building to play good, expansive, attacking football. Allegri demolishes that with if he gets appointed, and I don't think Bayern would do that. I would hope Hasan Salihamidzic would leave. To be honest, I think he's been poor. This is all this talk about Flick leaving is because of his feud with Salihamidzic. So I would be more than happy for him to leave. But there's no other real available manager. A few seasons ago, there was talk about Eric Ten Hag from
Oh yeah,
Ajax. I think he's dropped down a lot.
he could be available. I mean,
I
he
don't.
obviously he just got knocked out of the Europa.
Yeah, I don't think Bayern go for him. There's Ralph Ragnick, who's available, but again, I don't think he will work with Salihamidzic. So I think Bayern would just have to bite the bullet and pay for Nagelsmann, and I think that's what they will do if Flick doesn't go. I'm not. The only thing I don't like about Nagelsmann is his tendency to use a three at the back formation. I really do not want to see that at Bayern.
Yeah, well, we'll see come summer. I think yeah, we'll see come
Oh,
summer because we'll
jeez.
see what happens to Joachim Low. Obviously, he's going to leave, but who the other point? Who knows?
He needs to
Real
retire.
quick,
Yeah.
let's have a look at the weekend's game that's coming up in the Premier League. Tonight is the first game actually, Everton Spurs. Um,
Hmm.
they're both, I think, challenging for the Europa League spot. I think they both know the Champions League is gone, so they're
Yeah.
both seventh and eighth respectively. Spurs seventh, Everton eighth, 1 point separating them. Who's going to get this one? Everton's at home.
Everton's at home. They've got a draw in their last two games, whereas
Been
Spurs
woeful,
have a
yeah, very
loss and a
woeful. But
draw.
uh,
So they've not exactly been good either side. Um,
who do you think? I'd say here's
I
the question: who
think
do you think deserves it, the Europa League spot most? Everton or Spurs? Why?
Everton, because they've overperformed relative to their squad quality. Spurs, with their squad quality, should have been top four nailed on, but it just so happens that they've got an awful manager. Um, that's literally dragged them back. Uh, Ancelotti is of course better than
Mm-hmm.
Mourinho. However, I think Spurs' attacking duo, let's say with
Yeah.
Son and Kane, I think they clinched this game.
I saw something on Twitter, so real quickly, give me your answer on this one. If they sack
Mhm.
Mourinho in the summer, it means they have to pay him off, which means they won't have enough money for transfer funds. So, as a Spurs fan, what's your mentality? Sack Mourinho, get a new manager, but have less funds for players, or keep on to him, have more money for players? Sack him.
Sack him.
So,
Yeah. However, look, I would sack him given that scenario. However, there's been loads of talk about how good Daniel Levy is as a businessman and all this stuff. So I would be surprised if Levy didn't have some sort of break clause inserted into
yeah,
Mourinho's
okay.
contract when he got the job. However, on the counter argument, everyone knows that Levy is a huge Mourinho fan, so it wouldn't surprise me also that Levy is just totally in awe of this
Hmm.
guy and kind of he has his rose tinted glasses on when looking at Mourinho, and I think Mourinho is kind of charming his way to keeping that job.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah, look,
you look
I,
at the
I would sack him. I think
yeah.
he has to go. I think he's dragging that talent back so
You look at
much.
the
It's
documentary
ridiculous.
All or Nothing. You can see the relationship between Levy and Mourinho is very close. They always communicate with each other. They
Yeah,
have a very good relationship. Yeah, they
he
definitely have
loves
a good
him.
relationship for sure.
Levy loves him.
Another game I want to quickly talk about: Leeds v Liverpool on Monday night. I think that's going to be very entertaining. That's going to be a very attack-minded game. Bielsa is going to go for it. Cause he did it. He went to Etihad, got the win, wasn't afraid. Liverpool just come back off a defeat. Well, not a defeat, it was a draw, but they were knocked out of the Champions League by Madrid.
Yeah,
What's Klopp's mindset here? What's he thinking?
Klopp knows
He's
that
away from this
leave,
match.
leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I were Klopp, I would be telling my team to go back to basics and just play a little bit more on the counter because Leeds will play through them. They will. There's no two ways about it. So I think if they drop back a little bit and play on the counter, because Liverpool's press this season has not been good, and as we've seen, you cannot play a high line with a subpar press. So I
Leeds
think
win.
Leeds win
I think so too.
because I don't think Klopp will change.
No, he's shown that he can be very stubborn with his team selection as well. So
Yeah,
I think so too. I think Leeds. I think Leeds
I think it's a 2-1 win.
2-1. Okay, I think
Yeah.
one more midweek is your team, Villa v City. This is the game I knew was going to happen.
Oh
Villa at home.
crap.
City just come off a win against Dortmund. They're high and happy. They're willing. They're ready to go. They want to go again.
Uh, I'm going to be really quick for this one.
3
City
0
win 3-0.
No confidence of anything happening
Yeah.
for you guys.
I think Trezeguet is out for a while now. He's having surgery. Grealish is still out. Ross Barkley's out of form. Jacob Ramsey is not playing particularly well. So on the wings, in theory, should be El Ghazi and
Mm.
Traore. I know they're still not 100% fit, but I think they should be
Swap
fit
it
enough
through the
for this
middle, I'm
game.
guessing. Yeah.
Yeah, which means McGinn. If something happens, it'll either be a McGinn goal or a McGinn assist. But I don't think we'll get anything because our defense, as seen, is slipping a lot.
Could be a Martinez masterclass. You never know. Could be.
It could be, yeah, and um, he has been saving us this season, but I don't think. I think City will bombard us, and I don't think Martinez can keep the
Yeah.
sheet clean for the entire 90. And I think they win 3-0.
Well, that was today's episode on the Halftime Oranges podcast. Covered quite a lot. Happy with today's episode?
Yeah, I like it. I think next week or next episode, let's say, we will talk about our predictions for the top four and champions for the Europe's top five leagues, as well as relegation for the Premier League and the Bundesliga. So that should be an
Could
exciting
maybe
episode
even
too.
touch on who could be promoted from the Championship into the Premier League. I think that.
Yeah,
Well, no,
yeah,
yeah,
we can
it's
do that
looking
too.
like Norwich is going to make it so far. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed
Yeah.
today's episode. This has been myself, Ziad, and Giant Kumar. Hope you enjoyed Halftime Oranges podcast, and we will see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah. Please remember, guys, please do just like, subscribe on YouTube, and comment with any suggestions or tips you have
Sweet.
for
Thanks
us.
so much, guys, for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Take care, guys.